Hi everyone, let's continue with the creation of this Lego vehicle. So I have created all the main body of the vehicle. Right now I will going to focus into the wheels. So let's find one good reference for that. Okay, so right now in the left view, let's take a look. I will going to create one plane again. And I will going to apply a material with exactly this image to the object. So scanline as standard, I will apply the material, then I will load a diffuse map, okay, I will use this one, and I will enable the preview. And again, to verify if I have the right UV map, I will going to add the UV map modifier, bitmap fit, and then select exactly the wheel. So right now I have exactly the same proportion. What I want right now is I want to scale this to measure almost the same of this other wheel you are seeing here. So like you can see here, you can, I don't know, you can use this by hand, or you can create just a simple rectangle to use as reference. For example, I am creating two different rectangles, and I can just scale a little bit down, and right now I know that both wheels have almost the same size, or the correct size. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I will going to create my wheel using a different kind of method. So the first thing I need, I will going to draw this particular shape you are looking here, because I really want a high detail wheel, because it's very important in this particular model. So I will draw this part of the object. I will going to create just one single or basic section, and then I will going to bend the section of the wheel and continue the modeling. So for this, I will going to create just a single plane. I will going to create a single plane, for example here, with no subdivision, and I will going to convert this to editable poly. I will going to model. Right now I don't have a lot of information on how it looks, because I don't have all the details, but it's quite easy to understand how this is made. So right now I will going to create a low poly version of this wheel. So for this I will going to use shift and later scale, and then I will going to select the edges. I'm using edges right now, so I can select these edges, and I will going to extrude with using shift. Like I said, it's something like this, and then with scale I press shift again, and I have created this particular patch or surface right now. So I can adjust this vertex something like this. I am creating a basic part of the wheel. It's just a small part of the wheel, a low poly part of the wheel, you can see here. And then like you can see here, this is what I'm doing right now. With shift I will put the edges a little bit down, and then I will going to collapse those vertex to fuse them. Right now, like you can see, they are one single vertex there. So in this case I will extrude again. This part of the wheel have some angle, is not straight, something like this, and then I will going to, I don't know, I going to extrude it again, and I will move this a little bit down. I will going to verify this in, for example, in this particular view. It's not quite precise. It's not quite precise, but it's more or less what I want to create is this particular shape. So let's see, I have this part later. Okay, so I think I'm missing something here. When, yeah, here there is a step. For example, there is a step here. Yes, correct. And then again, shift, and there's another step, something like this. If I verify in this particular view, like I said, it's not precise, but if you see there is a flat surface, diagonal surface, one step, turn, and one step is something like I have here, a flat surface, diagonal down, something like this. Later I will going to adjust the position and things like that. So right now I have this part of the wheel. The other ones, for example, this vertex here, I will going to select them. Let me see, and I will going to extrude them again, and verifying the shape. It's quite similar. Let me see, I have this surface here. I think I need one step. This is a diagonal. This is the flat surface. This part here is the flat surface, and this is diagonal right now. So I will move this vertex diagonal. Let me see if I'm right. So yeah, this part here is completely flat. So I will straight. Sorry. So I will move this to this place. It's completely straight. This is the only part of the wheel that is straight. This part here is straight. From this part to this part is straight. So this part is diagonal, and this part is diagonal too. So this is more or less what I have. This is the left view. I have this flat, the diagonal surface. I will try to match this diagonal form I have here, and then I have this another step. So I think I'm doing the things right. Later I will going to verify, because for example these pieces here, it looks different. I will going to delete this part, because yeah, this one is creating this sort of step here with this diagonal, something like this, and then there is a connection between all these vertices, something like this. I think I'm not completely sure, but I think this will going to work. I will going to collapse. And then I will select the border. Oh, let me see if I was not able. I didn't collapse. This is one single. Okay. So let me see. I will going to select the border. I'm not able to do it. When you're trying to select the border, and maybe right now, like you can see here, it is selecting more than the surface you needed, you can do a couple of things. I will drag this. Let me see, there's something that is missing here. Maybe this is not completely attached. It looks attached to me, but well, let's fix it. So one thing I can do is just select this edge, and using the vertex I can target weld from this part to this one, and then I can remove this vertex with backspace, and this way I will fill this hole with shift. I create one surface with vertex. I will target weld this one to here, and this one I will going to remove with backspace keyboard. So this is more or less what I'm doing. I think it is almost right. Let's verify with the wheel I have. Try to compare exactly. Let's move to this part. I will move this to see if this is what I'm having right now. So yeah, I have a flat surface, a diagonal one, and then the step. This one, maybe this step was to pronunciate. Both should have been at the same height. So for example, this maybe is at this height, the same height in both cases. So I will scale them at the same height, and I will put them in the same, exactly the same place, later a little bit diagonal part, and both vertex here should be exactly the same height, something like this. So yeah, this is it, more or less what I needed. Let's move this to the place I was using as reference to draw. Okay, so right now I have this part of the wheel. I will apply a symmetry. Let me see if I apply a symmetry. Yeah, to have exactly the same. I will going to collapse. Okay. So this is what I have. This is one part of the wheel. What I need right now, the thing what I need right now is that I need to clone this object. I need to clone this object, something like this, and repeat all this process, because later I want to bend all the group of objects. So I need to fix a couple of things before starting to cloning. For example, I will go back before the mirror. I will going to focus only in this part of the model. So I will going to create just the half part of this object here, because one half is the object, and when I clone it, there is the other half. Okay, so later I will going to clone this element, and I will going to backspace this one just to have a this part of the object completely straight. I will going to create a patch completely straight from one side to another, and later I will going to see, maybe I should keep this vertex to keep all the in 4 vertices, no matter if they are in the same line. Later this could be useful, for example, when I'm doing something like this. For example, to keep the curvature, I think this will going to work a little bit better. So let's keep this way. Okay, so what do I need right now? I will going to select those edges with shift. I'm creating this other part, and I will going to collapse. Right now I can use the target weld. Okay, so right now they are fused. Later I can select the vertex. I will going to select the edges right now, and I will going to simply drag them to the middle, something like this. I will going to remove this vertex. I really later will take a look if I need to create it or subdivide it, or maybe make another subdivision here. That is something that I think will works a little bit better when using subdivision in 3ds Max. So later I think this will going to be exactly the same as this is a diagonal from one point to the other. So I can use the snap in 3 dimensions, and later I can use the vertex and collapse. Okay, again, to fill this gap, I will going to shift to create the surface. I will target weld from this point to this one, and I will going to remove with backspace the another vertex. Okay, so this is more or less what I've needed. Let's go to the symmetry. So that's what I have right now. So what's happened if I try to clone these from this part here to this one? For example, if I clone them as instance, let's just clone a couple of times just to see. So like you can see here, I have a complete set of parts of the wheel that correspond to the wheel itself. I mean, it's working very nice. So what I'm going to do is I will create an array of objects, and later I will going to select all of them and apply a modifier, a bend modifier, that will going to bend all of them in the right direction I need. For example, as you can see here, this is exactly what I will going to do. So I don't have to model everything, I just have to model one single and functional part of the wheel, and later I can clone it and make any modification, and all the other parts will going to work very good. So the modification I will going to do right now, and I want to verify if it's okay, I will going to apply a turbo smooth modifier. Like you can see, it is subdividing the shape more than what I want. So here, for example, oh, these vertices are not linked right now. This, I thought they were. Oh, they are. It looks like they are. There should be something weird in this particular mesh. I'm not sure. Let me see why this is. If this is, this is quite weird. This is quite weird. Well, but parts. Let's try another way to do it. Let's see what happen here if I make a bridge between them. Okay, everything works very good. If I could, for example, from one point, from this point to this other point, and again I could from this point to this one, let me see what we have here. If I select all these parts, all these three parts, and I press Control backspace, like you can see, I have exactly the same with an issue in the smoothing groups, but this works exactly as I want. I will going to select all the polygons and remove the smoothing groups just to have the clear shape, and it is working very good. The smoothing I will going to fix it later, but yeah, I have to avoid this thing first before continue. So let's delete this part and just move this one to here and collapse and see if this one works. Yeah, it once works. So this was another way to solve it. Whoa, I moved. No, it's okay. No, it's not okay. I moved this vertex. Let's move to the right position. Okay. So what I was talking about is I need to avoid this smoothing effect it is having right now, and the way to avoid this smoothing effect is using the creating subdivision near to the corner. So right now, for example, if I have this and I create a connection, two different connections, for example, two connection, one near to the top edge or to the top corner, and one in the lower corner. So if I apply the changes, that you can see now is more sharpened. This will going to solve one of our main issues. So I will going to repeat this part here, pressing shift to select all the edges, apply the connection again, and like you can see, this is almost everything I need. And to avoid these elements to get rounded, but I'm not sure if I need to do that, because I will going to verify if they are rounded. No, they are not too much rounded like this one. So I can do exactly the same. I can select this part, I can make a ring, or just press shift, and I can connect. I will going to connect. Right now, if I apply, like you can see here, I have exactly what I want in this particular area. I can do exactly the same here in case I want it. Let's connect. Let's see how it works. Maybe in this case I don't need this connection here. Let me see how it works. Well, it doesn't affect too much, so I will keep it. But like you can see, it is exactly as I want. I will going to select all these things and connect, and I will have exactly the same effect like you can see here. I will do the same here in this case, because I have a face with three vertex. I will try something different. Remember, I should only focus in this part of the mesh. I don't need to focus in all the mesh because it will going to use a symmetry. So if I connect here, I have something like this. Let me see how it looks. It's not looking good at all. First I need to refine this particular shape, so I will go into ring. Now you can see here, if I connect, now I have this more sharpened edge in this particular area. So right now the only thing I need to fix is this lower part here. I need to have a different shape here, a more sharpened shape. So I will going to select, I will going to ring again, I will going to connect, and again let's verify. Like you can see, it's almost done. Here I have an issue, I have a problem. This problem is related to the symmetry modifier, because the scale of the symmetry is a little bit big and is welding a couple of vertex, but right now it's fixed. So right now I have almost everything. The only thing I need is to have a sharpened vertex here. So in this case I will going to connect. I will not going to use two, just one, and I will move this element nearby the top, and let's verify how it looks. So that you can see here it looks good. I will see how it looks with the two subdivision. Yeah, I think avoid a little bit of stretching. I think this works good for what I want. This face right now have more than 4 vertices. Like you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have 5 vertex. So it's not recommended to have this amount of vertex. So I can, for example, try to subdivide this one. Let me see if I create a ring here. Let's select this one just to keep the order, and I will be going to connect just with one single connection in the middle. This way I will going to have, let me unselect this. Okay, with this connection here, remember I'm not focusing in this particular part of the object. Is not important. I just doing to keep the order. But what I want to do here is this connection, this vertex, I will going to connect to this vertex. So right now I have a face 1, 2, 3, 4, and another face that 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe these two are quite nearby and they generate some stretching, but it's not an issue right now for my model. So this is working. I will do the same here. Just we're going to connect here with one single connection, and then I will connect here with 2 connection, and that's it. Later I can just connect these 2 vertices. I connect them with a shortcut that is Ctrl+Shift+E, and I can connect them. Okay, so that's all. I have this particular part ready. The last thing I see is this one. Let me see. I can connect them something like this. I will keep just one in this part of the nearby of this area, and this is it. Let's see if here I have something. Here I have something that it's not. Let me see how many vertex it have. Yeah, it have more vertex that I want. This face need to be fixed, so I will going to make a couple of fix here. For example, I will connect manually from this part, and maybe this one I can create a small connection here. This will going to be a three vertex. Is not a big deal. This one is working too, so let's see. So right now this is my wheel. This is working wheel. I think it's good enough. Let me verify if I have everything in place, because yeah, I think let's see if they are, all the other parts are instant, so like you can see, this is what I get. In the front view, this part should be almost the same. I mean, there should be almost the same, and I think they are almost the same, and they are working good enough. So let's clone all these pieces. I'm going to disable this a little bit to have this more simplified. I will put in the place I think it should be. And now the thing is how many pieces I need. So if you see this object from the front, for example, something like this part here correspond to something like this. So I have to count how many parts it have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, there are in total there are 16. So I have to clone from this corner, oops, from this corner to this corner. I will instantiate 15, and I will going to press to select all of them to see how many they are. There are 16. So I think they are the exactly amount of parts I need. With all of them selected and subdivided, I will going to apply a vent modifier. This modifier will allow me, like you can see before, allow me to rotate these elements. So I will going to rotate them 360 degrees. Okay, so let's continue. Right now I was testing and verifying what is this exactly happening. I think it's a bug, maybe related to my video card or related to something different, because it's just a matter of refreshing. It is showing me some different things. It's quite weird, but it's just a matter of refreshing this and it should work. Okay, so what I want to do right now, I just want to move this in the right position. Like you can see, it's almost exactly the same size of the wheel. It's quite precise. So what I will going to do, like you can see here, I will going to select just one of single path. Remember, it's just a refreshing. If this is bothering you a lot, you have to refresh. I'm not sure exactly why this happened. It should not happen, but right now, like you can see, it's happening, and I will not going to stop my process because of that, because I know how to just fix it right now. Okay, so what I want to do in this case, I will going to just make the rest of the wheel. I will going to verify something. I want to know if this is, yeah, I think it's, maybe it's not too, like you can see here, this is not too deep. I mean, I have to make some adjustment. Like you can see here, it's not so deep. So I will select my vertex. Remember, right now I just have to select one of them. I will going to disable the vent modifier. I'm going to select the vertex, and having only this part, I can just move this up. Let me see if there's a way to use a better looking reference. I will going to select all of them, and I will only keep one visible. On the other ones, let's see if I select as display as box to avoid all these visibility issues. And now that I have this only one visible, I want to verify exactly what is happening. I know here I have a symmetry, so I can even connect this in the middle, in the center. Let's connect, and I can delete all this part because it's not needed, because I have the symmetry and all the other things that continue. But okay, so what I'm looking here is the position, this position here. This doesn't looks exactly as I want. I mean, I have a maybe this part is quite hate. I think this is the, yeah, this should be the problem. This part here should not be too deep. I think so. This is the problem. So let's go to the from view layer here, and I will going to move this part a little bit up, because I think this is something like this, and this one will be something like this. Yeah, to keep this less dramatic, less deep. Okay, so right now this is what I want. I will move this up too, to keep them in the exactly the same size. I have to I should do this before subdividing, because right now I have to move more vertex, but yeah, it's not a big deal right now. It was just a small adjustment, and I think it's right now. Right now it's working as I expect. I mean, I will going to, yeah, like you can see here, right now it's more precise. It's more precise to the part of the wheel I wanted. So later I want to make the rest of the wheel. Like you can see here, is just I just have to select the edges. I was going to select all these edges here. Remember to disable these to avoid this weird bug I have here. So I will just select this edge here, and with shift I will going to move more or less to this hay, as you can see here, and in this place I will going to connect. Let me see what I'm cloning exactly. I will going to connect to this part, because I want to create this another line you are seeing here. This is because, like you can see, this will going to allow me to put this part of the wheel a little bit inner inside of the wheel. So let's see how things is working. Like you can see, all my other objects are not visible. I will going to enable all of them. Like you can see, I have almost a quite precise wheel. So this is what I have. Let's even put this more precise. Okay, this is almost exactly what I need. I'm having here an issue, because I have delete the half of the object. Remember, I have the symmetry here, and the turbo smooth, and then the vent. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so the issue here in this part, so it's just because when I have put all this by this part, I forgot to move all these to the axis. All these things should be on one axis, because the symmetry will going to affect all of them, and this is it. They need to be exactly in the same axis to avoid this problem. So like you can see here, I have my wheel. Remember to enable and disable this. This is a weird bug. Maybe it's just related to my system, or maybe it's something related to 3ds Max 2 case 17. Okay, so like you can see here, there's this is the wheel. I hope this is looking and working as expect. I mean, I think it's working good. I'm not sure. I'm not completely sure. I think I have something different, but no, I think it's good. Let's see. I think it's good. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so I have my wheel from one side. I will going to do the same thing to the other side. Remember to disable this to avoid any confusion. This is the edge I need to move inside. let's go to another view. Like you can see, I need to keep all these almost the same. If I have a better section, I could put exactly when I want, but this is just an approximation, and I think it will going to work good enough.